Brampton auto workers, and that is why we will axe the sales tax on Canadian-made automobiles. Buy Canadian. And then there's the carbon tax. The Liberals brought it in for 7 years. They kept the carbon tax law in place, but 28 days before the election, they hid it from the gas pump in the hope that they can fool people into electing them for a fourth Liberal term, after which they will simply raise the tax higher than ever before. Mark Carney says he wants a higher industrial carbon tax on our steel workers, aluminum workers, automakers, makers of fertilizer, and countless other essentials of industrial life that will drive our workers out of jobs and our businesses south of the border. This is another thing that Trump and Carney share in common. They both want to tax Canadian industry. Trump with tariffs, Carney with carbon taxes. I want neither. I will axe the carbon tax for everyone, for everything, for good, for real, for a change. We will axe the worst tax of all, the inflation tax. The inflation tax is when the government runs out of other people's money and starts printing more. That extra money looks like lots of fun. Hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into the financial system, trickling slowly down through the hands of the richest and most well-connected. But by the time it gets to everyone else, it's lost its value, because more dollars are bidding up a fixed supply of goods. If you have 10 apples in your economy and $10, it's $1 an apple. Double the dollars to 20, but still only have 10 apples, you're not twice as rich. It's just each apple now costs twice as much, right? That is inflation. And it's the sneakiest tax of all, because there's no vote in Parliament. You don't see it happening. You just assume that the grocer raised apple prices because he's a greedy guy. No, it's just that there's more money bidding on that restricted supply of goods. So, this is what we're going to do to stop the inflation tax. We're going to stop the source of the tax, which is over government spending. We have to get government spending. Who's voting to build homes you can afford for a change? Who's voting to stop the crime for a change? And who's voting to put Canada first for a change? The president, through magical, masterful negotiating techniques. Well, we know now that that is not true. Nobody can control this president. And while I will move quickly to negotiate an end to tariffs with protections for Canadian sovereignty as quickly as possible, we need to focus on what we can control. And this is what we can control, my friends. We need to reverse the disastrous liberal economic policies of the last 10 years that made us so dependent on the Americans in the first place. I love you too, my friend. God bless you. Thank you. I love all of you guys. Thank you. And if you, thank you very much. That's a very important cause, autism and many more. And if you had doubt at all the courage of our police officers, let's look back to 2022. 2 days after Christmas near Brantford, OPP Constable Greg Pershella was shot and killed. The accused, Randall McKenzie, had a long history of convictions for violent crime, but guess what? He was out on bail. He had already attacked his ex-girlfriend and been caught with an illegal firearm. He'd been denied bail at first, but then the judge changed his bullet. You might want to just step out sometime during the rally tonight. Make sure your car is still there. But joking aside, career car thieves get to do their sentences at home. It's house arrest. They can sit there watching Netflix or playing Grand Theft Auto. We're going to repeal house arrest for serious offenders and career criminals. We will also create a new offense for intimate partner violence to take domestic abusers and dangerous people and put them in jail. We will bring in mandatory life sentences for human traffickers, gun smugglers, and we know that when you're mass marketing fentanyl, 40 milligrams, imagine this very simple idea. You've got a CBSA officer. We're going to hire 2,000 more of those, too. And he sits there. You can tell me if this is a good idea, okay? I know you're not CBSA, but would this work? So you've got the manifest. And it says that in the shipping container is widgets. And then you look at the scanner, and it shows that it's a beamer. Well, then you go and you pull the beamer out of the container, you call the guy on the VIN and say, were you planning to send your beamer to Turkey today? And he says, no, I was going to drive it to work, but it went missing this morning. Oh, well, we've got it over at the Port of Montreal. You can come get it. And then you find out who booked the shipping container. You go to that guy and say, you're under arrest. You have a right to remain silent. What do you think?
Now you can beat the IRS deadline and file for free. Just upload your docs. Answer a few.
With NDP polling numbers matching this dreary BC weather, party officials are trying to push back, saying what they're hearing on the doorstep is
confident that I'll be able to serve the people of Burnaby Central.
However, the most recent polling from Nanos Research shows the NDP have hit a 25-year low when it comes to support in this country. The latest number has them at a distant third place with just 8% of support. Numbers that won't be helped by the news of former New Democrat MP who is supporting Liberals in their bids to get re-elected. Murray Rankin had publicly said he's endorsing Jonathan Wilkinson and Talib Noor Mohammed as two people who can reach across party lines. How much does that bother you?
Well, I think it's wrong to suggest that in this time we need less New Democrats. We need more New Democrats. You know, the things that we're proud of, the things that made our lives better, were because New Democrats were there.
Despite having half of their current caucus from this province, the NDP isn't planning any big supporter rallies with Singh while he's here this time. One campaign official telling us that rallies pull people off the doorsteps, and right now, they want to concentrate on the ground game.
Jagmeet Singh is on the campaign trail for a third time as NDP leader, confidence and to defend himself.
Kids would pick on me, kids would walk up to me and kind of just push me.
And Singh says the racism he experienced growing up led him to be sensitive to the injustice and the barriers other people face. Singh completed his bachelor's degree in biology at Western University. Deputy Ontario NDP campaign. The NDP won 24 seats, 20 fewer MPs than the 2015 election.
Sorry, rest of Canada, it's already spring weather in BC. And seasons aren't the only things changing here. Federal politics is shifting wildly on the West Coast.
I think everybody is more committed taking elections seriously now.
I think there's a lot at stake. You know, I don't think any of us thought we would see what we're seeing in the States.
This is not fun. This is something serious about our life.
Many federal elections, the result is already known by the time the polls close in the Pacific time zone. That could happen this time too, but there's a riding by...
Surprising, yeah.
The NDP currently has 13 of British Columbia's 43 seats. Current projections from polling aggregator 338 show just one of those is likely to remain NDP. But even Jenny Kwan's Vancouver East riding is expected to be really close.
I think what voters are seeing is that, really right now there are two choices to lead the country. It's the Conservatives or the Liberals.
A lot of that NDP support is disappearing on Vancouver Island, a place Conservative leader Pierre keeps coming back to. Just a few months ago, it seemed pretty likely that his messages about investing in resources and stopping crime were resonating, according to political scientist Sanjay Jurong.
And the assumption was that BC was going to join Alberta and Saskatchewan in this election, just a few months ago.
But I don't put a lot of confidence in polls. When I was elected here in 2011, there wasn't a single poll that thought I had a chance.
She has a point. Tight ridings are tough to poll accurately. And Daw says in a race this volatile, BC could shift.
It is exciting to see just how dynamic it can be. And the